Gone off. So we're going to be mastering growth, logistics and success all within 15 minutes. So if there's any talk to watch, it's this one. Sarge, if I could start with you, if you could do a little intro, what you do, where you do it, and who you are.
My name is Sarge, digital director at YETI, trying to scale and protect the brand in Europe. Does it say EMEA? We are nowhere near to launching in Middle East and South Africa right now.
It's a bit of a broad term,
just excuse the
isn't it?
title there. So yeah, this is what we do. We're building the brand, we're building the communities, we're building the core audience. We are not about hanging big banners. We are literally about just talking to our core pursuits, whether it's hunt, fish, surf, snow, skate, barbecue. These are our people. We love them. They love us back. We tell their story. They tell our stories. So this is what the brand is about.
Amazing, yeah?
Hi. It's
Yep.
working? Yeah, perfect. I'm Yael. I'm from Shopify, which I'm guessing everybody knows what we do. I'm a solution engineer, which means I work with brands, partners, tech partners across EMEA. So I have kind of like a good view of what's happening in the industry.
Amazing. Who here is on Shopify? Oh, wow. Wiping the floor, well done. Sarge, I'm going to start with you. I love it when there's a stat in my questions, but you've been part of brands scaling past 100 million, which is amazing. What's the single biggest operational challenge you've seen at that stage?
Oh, there are so many. It's a freaking minefield. I'm sorry, excuse my French there. But, I mean, you talk to anybody, you talk to any brand, you know, they say, just keep it simple. It's not that. You know, it's never going to be simple. You know, if you're doing 100 million in UK only, you're doing a fucking fantastic job. I tell you that because UK population is 64 million, and then you have got Germany, 84, I think. But one of the biggest problem that the brand's going to have when they scale is the internationalization, or when they go across the border. We tried to employ a playbook, it didn't work. And I'll be completely honest with it, we failed. Because our mothership in US thought that Europe is this big one country and it's all English and everything is same. You have the same content, you have the same products, you have the same supply chain. Every can possibly deliver in Germany as well. It doesn't work like that. And we tried to raise our hand and we said, hey, no, it's not like that. You have the best product in Germany. You have the same playbook in Germany as you have in the UK or US. It doesn't work. The customer doesn't resonate. And this is where, and then the whole thing around the currency, the opt-ins and data ships is there. Thanks, Muddy, for saving our ass. There are so many different dynamics which you got to take control of, and you got to take it easy and slow. Go and test the market, and make sure your logistics, there is a discipline there. You go and trying to localize every single thing in each of the market, whether you're going to Germany, France, Spain, Italy, Portugal, every market is unfortunately different. So I think the operational excellence and a good operating rhythm is very, very important when you scale, or you are closer to 100 million or scale past closer 100 million. The other element of it is that operational rhythm within your team. And I talk about it only because when you are at that level, your product pipeline is not talking to your marketing, your sales is omni-channel at that time. You know, D2C is not talking to wholesale. So all these sort of things, you know, having that connectivity amongst the team and the whole collaboration piece is really, really important.
Amazing. And talking about scaling across borders, which I'm sure Shopify has lots of experience with. Yeah, what are the most common mistakes you see when people or brands are entering new markets?
So I feel like you kind of stole my speech there. Because I think underestimating localization is something we see very common as a big mistake. Localization is not only language, it's currency, it's payment methods, it's logistics, it's delivery options. And a lot of brands tend to treat markets the same, which you cannot do because even though, as you said, this is the European market, there's nuances to each market. So even things like return policies are different per market. Shipping options and how they expect shipping to be. So is 2 to 3 days legit in a specific market, while other markets have more tolerance for longer shipping deliveries. So that is one huge common mistake. And the other thing, to your point as well, is not testing. Investing loads amount of budget into local warehouses and infrastructure when you haven't even tested the waters. You have to kind of treat it as a new service line. So test on your current infrastructure, see how it works, then expand slowly to each market after you've mastered each market. And budget accordingly. It's not something just to take, okay, I want to open a new market.
Yeah. Budget's everyone's favourite word. Sarge, how do you think about stock optimization without stifling that growth?
There is no easy answer for that, again. I think technology can help you a lot with that. People talk about the spreadsheets. People talk about, looking after your top 20 SKUs, which take care of 80% of your revenue. And it's all correct. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. In my eyes, I think it all starts very early in the stage, in your design center, in your innovation centers. What is the product you are making for your customer? How close you are with your customer? And I tell you why. Because we try and stay very close to our communities. And one day, if our coolers or if our drinkware is not relevant, we are fucking screwed. Because we are not listening to our customers. And this is what we do. And we launched our coolers in 2006. Then we had drinkware 2014. Our customers come and tell us that what are the use cases. Now it's 8 ounce, and then it moves to the 10 ounce and the 16 stackable options. So then it's supply chain, how quick they are to get your product to the market. And all these things then play together. But in terms of the whole stock optimization piece, if you just take care of that top 20% or top 20 SKUs which are making majority of your sales, whether that's 70%, 60%, I think you're doing a good job. If you try and make it so complex that you're gonna go SKU by SKU and try and look at what market requires, you've got to be very close to the market to be able to sense that what is working and what is not working. And then it also depends on your risk tolerance as well, that as a business, that how much stock you can actually sit on. What is your exit strategy? What is your sell-through, optimal sell-through that you believe in? You want to sell 100% of your stock. If you are doing that, then you are losing sales, essentially. I mean, that is in my eyes. To me, I think if I achieve 70, 75% sell-through, we are in a good stage. And as far as the age stock profile, we are in a privileged stage that we have got so many different countries, we have got so many different regions. If there is some stock that I'm not selling, Australia and New Zealand would need it, or US would need it, or Canada would need it, we could just ship it across, and then that becomes their problem.
I loved it when JT said earlier that people aren't just camping using YETI, we're all just walking around the city as well. That was great. Yeah. So platform choice can be a huge enabler or blocker. I'm sure people have experienced that in the room. What role does Shopify play in ensuring merchants are built for scaling?
Yeah, so I think when you choose a platform, it's going to determine how high you can build and how fast you can grow. So you need to choose a platform and think where you want to be in 5 years from now, and according to that, make your choice, not according to where you are today, because that means that in 5 years, you'll just have to migrate again. So your platform should just be able to help you create things out of the box, such as multi-currency, multi-channel, multi-inventory management. How fast can you go to new markets? This is where integration ecosystem comes into play and will determine the difference between days and months. Things like 3PL integrations, ERPs, as well as how you want to grow your business, from moving only from B2C to B2B, having things like subscriptions and recurring revenue models, and just like to have a nice ratio in your mind when it comes to dev velocity. If you're spending 60% of your time on maintenance and only 40% on growth, that ratio is not ideal. You need to find the platform that will allow you more time spent on growth rather than maintenance.
Yeah, I think it's finding that long-term solution rather than just the short-term, because it's the easiest there and then. And yeah, again, so from your experience, what's a great example of a brand using omnichannel effectively to drive that growth?
So if you're on Shopify, you've probably heard of us talking about unified commerce. We don't treat it as omni-channel. We look at it as unified commerce. You want to be everywhere your customers are. That means you need to have real-time inventory syncs, have that unification of inventory, not only to be able to show your customers the real-time delivery promises, where they can actually pick up their orders. This drives conversion. On the other hand of it is, if you're in store and your customer walks in, you want to empower your sales reps on the floor to be able to prevent lost sales by showing them what they're looking for is available, and that they can actually have it shipped to the store by tomorrow for them to pick up.
It'd be great if we could track loss of sales. I think for demand planning is so essential, and the whole piece around stock optimization as well.
Try Sidekick. Ask the question. Yeah.
Amazing. And I've got a big question to finish off with you, Sard. So if you had to boil growth down to one non-negotiable principle for scaling brands, what would it be?
I think I'll protect the brand. That is, and I've gone through, working through so many different brands and working for so many different retailers, and everyone is different. Some brand wanted double the growth in half of the time. Next year, just double the number and your budgets are the same. Some brands are led by the CFOs, and it's just really hard to actually put the business case in place, that how your top of funnel and mid funnel is going to work. And actually, I can't really tell you whether it's going to drive the revenue or not. And I'm just trying to put more eyeballs on the brand. It's just become so difficult. But working with YETI for the past 6 years, and I've worked for a business called surfdom.com in the past, and those guys are now running a really successful brand called Passenger. And for them, it was all about growth at any cost. Let's do it. Let's just double the brand every year. And, they did it as well. And when I came to YETI, my mindset completely changed to brand, because what I did at the start, I started listening to the podcasts and the YouTube interviews of my CEO, Matt Ranches, my CMO, Bill Neff at the time. And I still do that to really immerse myself into the brand and the ethos. We are really, really humble about our brand, what we do with our communities, what we are trying to do with the brand and with our products and with our communities as well. So one thing I would do at any cost is to protect the brand and not devalue the brand. The sales would follow. You will go through these growth curves and troughs and all that, but one thing you gotta do is just protect your brand. You go through so much effort and pain to build something really, really credible, and one difficult quarter can actually push you to do things that you wouldn't do otherwise. So protect the brand that you really believe in.
Definitely. And I know I said that was the last question, but yeah, I'm actually going to chuck another one at you because I really like this one. If you had to give one piece of advice to a founder eyeing European expansion, what should they get right first?
How does that saying go? There's no second chance for first impression, right? So things like payments, tax, and landing costs are the things that I wouldn't get wrong when I'm launching in a new European market. The rest you can iterate. So make sure you don't surprise your customers with costs they didn't expect, that you're compliant with tax regulations so you don't have to either pay out of pocket or be non-compliant, and of course, local payment methods.
Amazing. I think we've actually managed to master growth, logistics, and success in them 15 minutes, so thank you, guys.